I'm going to play some video from Redacted in an interesting interview regarding disclosure of alien technology and biological entities. I do not own the rights to this video, so there's going to be an overlay, and it's going to be for you to decide whether there's deception in this video. With that said, enjoy the ride.
The man you're about to meet has never revealed his identity, his face, his rank, or his name on television before. And he's doing so at great personal risk to him and his family. Now, he spent years in the United States Army working on special classified UFO and space programs. And yes, he's worked on both the moon base and the massive underground ocean bases. So what you're about to see, I believe, could have massive implications for the future of UFO disclosure on many levels, from the advanced technologies that we have in our possession, like those med beds. You remember that Donald Trump even tweeted about these med beds and then he suddenly deleted the tweet? Yeah, they can heal human bodies within hours. Or about those secret bases on the moon. Or what about the secret bases beneath the ocean? Or the aliens that are currently working with our government. So what you're about to see in this interview could move us towards full UFO disclosure. This is part one of our two-part interview. Enjoy. JP, thank you so much for doing this.
Appreciate it, Clayton.
I know this was a lot for you. There's a lot that goes into an interview like this, so I want to thank you. A lot of people maybe don't understand behind the scenes how difficult it is for somebody who is trying to come out and share the story to be brave enough to do it. So thank you for that. I appreciate it,
Clayton, for having me here.
So we call you JP. So I guess for the first time on national television, on a national show, you're going to reveal your name for the first time. You've been in the shadows for a couple of decades now, really.
Yeah.
And you've been involved in a lot of these special programs for many, many years. Coming out and sharing your name for the first time. So can you share with our audience your full name for the first time?
My name is Jorge Pabon.
Jorge Pabon. And let's maybe just get the official stuff out of the way. Talk about your rank, when you left the military, what you were doing in the military. And we have some documents that you've shared with us. We have certain parts redacted, but we will share those here so people can know what your service was to the United States.
I was a 91 Juliet. That's a quartermaster of chemical repairs. I deal with water purification, and I also
in the Army.
In the Army.
Okay.
I also do translation. They use me as a translator as well.
Okay.
To translate different languages I could pick up.
How many languages do you have? Do you know?
I know three languages: Spanish, Portuguese.
Fala português?
Falo português. Falo português.
Okay.
Para todo o Brasil, oi, tudo bem? E Portugal.
Eu gosto arroz de pato.
Arroz de pato.
Sorry, that was duck rice, one of my favorites
duck
in Portuguese. So a number of languages as a translator, and
understand a couple other languages as well.
So you were an you were also an air trooper, is that right?
A paratrooper. And I was stationed. This is the first time I'm saying this as well. The best unit in the world, 7th Group Special Forces Unit.
So you were stationed with the 7th Group Special Forces Unit. Mm-hmm. You were not in the Special Forces, right?
No, I wasn't. I was attached.
You were attached to the Special Forces.
Yeah.
Okay. Just so everyone's clear about that.
Yeah, everybody, to be clear.
Okay.
I'm not a Green Beret.
Okay.
I'm a Red Beret.
So what is that? A Red Beret. And here's a photo. We'll share some photos of you wearing the Red Beret. And what rank were you?
I was E4.
E4. Okay.
I was E4. It's a lower rank. It's a E4, close to a corporal. It's in between a corporal and E4.
You know, it's interesting you say that. And I want to talk more about your official capacity in a second. But I've heard others who who've been involved in the things that you've been involved with and seen the things that you've seen, they're typically a lower rank. The individuals I've spoken to, whistleblowers I've spoken to, we're not talking to generals necessarily. They typically are lower rank, and they remain a lower rank for a longer time. Do you have any insight into that?
We are told what to do. People that are higher ranks, they sometimes go to the missions, but their job is to lead, and they have to stay secure, a secure facility. So the people that are lower enlisted, they go out to do the missions. So I don't know if you're familiar with that documentary that just came out called Age of Disclosure.
Age of Disclosure, yes, I am.
It's a lot of higher ranks there, and they're telling a lot of truth in that documentary. I'm not trying to push it, but
right. But they're higher rank, and because you're lower, you were doing the grunt work. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah, where we're doing the grunt work. When I say we, it's not only me. It's more soldiers like me.
How many would you say, in your experience, in your group, that have also had this experience?
Nationwide and worldwide, hundreds of thousands.
That have seen what you've seen?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've really ever heard a number associated with it.
Yeah.
And do you know of any other individuals that have come forward from your group? I
do. I'm connected with a couple of soldiers, but as you know, they're scared to come out and talk about this.
Why are they scared?
It goes beyond. It connects to the the spiritual and the interdimensional realm of things. Clayton, it goes way beyond. I can't really talk about it because of national security.
Okay.
And because I love this country a lot, and this is the best country in the world for me. You know, I got the opportunity to join the military, and I always tell people in my channel to join the military. It changed my life.
Yeah.
You know, it taught me a lot. I joined when I was 34, so I was already older. I got pushed to join the military. And when I got pushed, I experienced these missions.
So I know a little bit about your story, but I wanted you to really tell it today, and I want you to kind of go through it all. But before we get there, so in official capacity, you shared with us your discharge documents, and this is redacted, so we can put this up here on the screen as well. What does this show us here?
The DD-214 shows you what I did in service and where I was stationed and all that.
Okay. And you left in when did you leave? When?
August of 30th of last year.
So you left the military August of 30th of last year. Mm-hmm. Did you have to sign any non-disclosure agreements, anything like that when you left?
I have to sign certain things that I can't still talk about.
Okay.
But I got the green light to talk about certain things. And who's giving me the green light, I can't really talk about. Who's giving me the green light? Oh, I know he's connected to Washington.
Which is interesting to me. I don't want to dwell too much on that, but in the times that you and I have spoken over the past few months or through an intermediary that we've been speaking with, I've heard that you've gotten the green light. So there are people in Washington, there are people in the military who want this out there, who want disclosure. Would you say that's accurate?
People want disclosure. That's why people are pushing, showing more of these amazing videos that are coming out. Mm-hmm. Proof of officers talking and experiencing these. But I think it's going to be in phases, Clayton. Soon, soldiers like me, we're going to come out and probably do a documentary about what we felt and what we went through. You know, I chose to join the military. They approached me, hey, you want to join? You know, you've been through a lot, so we'll take care of you. You join. So I joined, and they did take care of me. I love the military. I never talked negative about the Army.
Yeah.
It's the best place that I ever. And, you know, some people might hear this and say, oh, you know, he's he's pushing, the army and all that. But it's just, for me, what I experienced, it was the best thing ever in my life.
Let's go back then to when they approached you, because I find this fascinating. So you had just moved to Orlando, Florida. And you were not involved in the military at all at that point.
I was not involved with the military. I was working actually for a pool company.
So you were cleaning pools.
I was cleaning pools. And I dealt with music too, because I go to church, and my wife, she sings. So I'm sorry, I'm tearing up a little bit. It's just,
and there's tissues right there.
things change in life.
Yeah.
For the better, So when I joined the military, it changed the way I lived.
With your family and everything.
My family and everything.
Yeah.
So
in all of this, JP, I mean, your family must have been incredible. A rock for you, right?
Oh yeah, my family have been supportive. My father, my mom, my beautiful wife. I've been married 18 years, Clayton.
18 years, wow.
18 years, and it's tough. It's been tough on her,
But she stood by you in all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She stood by me. She's she's my spiritual. She prays for me a lot. So,
is she aware of a lot of the stuff that's happened?
She's aware. Yeah, she's aware. But we don't really talk about it at home.
Yeah. Try to keep it separate.
Yeah.
Kids live a normal life.
Yeah. Have the kids live. I don't know after this show, but it's the truth has to get out there, Clayton.
Yeah. Have your kids ever seen anything?
Yeah, they talk about me on stage, and my little one says in school, my father talks about aliens. I'm like, no.
Has your wife ever seen anything like when you've had these experiences?
I'll share a video that we've seen together of a cigar-shaped ship that she spotted first. Another video going to UK. She was on the side of the window. I got that video as well. And we saw a UFO following the plane, and it changed colors and it turned into wings. And we both started crying.
Wow.
It's like, wow, they're protecting us, We're flying to UK for a conference. And then that same conference, these ETs came back and thousands of people saw these ships, and it was all over Eastbourne.
You were cleaning pools. I mean, I hate to ask this, but were you like in the middle of cleaning a pool and suddenly the military shows up and says, Jorge,
I lost my job.
You had just lost your job.
I shared a picture with Dr. Sala with TR-3B.
What is a TR-3B?
It's a anti-gravitational type of ship that we know of.
Right.
I'm not gonna say where it's from or who's operating it, but we know of these TR-3Bs. They're triangular ships. And I took a picture and I shared it with Dr. Michael E. Sala.
A friend of the show, Michael Sala, has been on many times. Yeah.
I shared it with him, and after that, I lost my job.
So, sorry. We're going to show the photos here. This is a triangular shaped UAP, UFO. I hate the term UAP with a passion.
Yeah, UFO.
I think it's like, anyway, UFO. When did you take this photo? So this was before you ever joined the military?
This was before. I took multiple pictures of UFOs.
Where did this happen and how did this happen?
This happened in Tampa. This happened in Orlando. In Tampa, I was taking pictures of cigar-shaped UFOs and UFOs interacting with helicopters. I got these pictures I could show you as well.
So you were just were you like cleaning pools at the time? Or you just like...
I was working. I also installed cameras for certain companies.
Okay.
So, I was just making money. Life, you have to move around to make money.
Blue collar, hardworking.
Yeah.
Just making money for your family.
Making money for the family. And on top of that, working in studios, doing music.
Okay.
I love music. I play piano, guitar, drums, whatever you give me, I could play.
Wow.
And you use the same part of your brain for languages. So if you're good musicians, you could pick up in different types of languages. So it's kind of cool for me. When I joined the military, they asked me about translating. They asked me about, because once you join the military, it's not just one job. It's not just one MOS. It's more than one jobs.
Yeah.
As you can see in my DD-214, I did more jobs than usual.
Yeah, you had a lot on there.
I was stationed in the Special Forces unit. So you have to keep up with these guys, these Green Berets. They're really good. They're the top of the top. So they do things that I don't even know. So
you were doing these different jobs, and then when did you see these triangular-shaped craft?
So cars used to approach me, like white pickup or a white van, and a guy in uniform, in tactical uniform, says, "Hey, in this time, just look up and make sure you take a picture." I'm like, what the heck is this guy talking about?
He just would drive by you?
Drive by me, and hey, this time, and I consider those people the white hats. You know, they want this information out. And I took pictures, and then the Tampa Bay Times, they start talking about Dr. Michael E. Sala and my picture, and they talk about MacDill Air Force Base. I'm like, oh man, they're talking about me in Coast to Coast and all this. And I'm like, Doc, what am I gonna do? And he says, don't worry, you're anonymous. Nobody knows your name. Nobody knows who you are. So they always told me, don't give your name out, just give this information. Doc was the only one that knew my name and knew my family. And I shared my information with Doc. He's been documenting. I call him the librarian of disclosure.
He is. I mean, he's written so many books, and your name, JP, appears in his books many, many years. So you were a guy. I can't believe it. I can believe it because I've heard this now from multiple people. But you just get a white hat, just drives by, and just says to you, does he yell out your name? Does he know who you are?
They approach to me and says, "Hey, this doesn't say my name." They approach you, and this happens to a lot of people.
Yeah, I've heard it multiple times. You're not the only one.
They approach you and they say, "Hey, this time, this hour, we're gonna see a ship. So start taking pictures with your phone." And those times there was no AI. These pictures you can put them in tests or whatever you want to put them.
They're like from 2007.
Yeah,
right?
2008, 2007.
Okay. So the photos you're seeing here on the screen are old. These are this is even pre-iPhone, I believe, at the time, or right around.
Pre-Android.
Pre-Android and pre-iPhone, and right around that time. So you're just taking these photos. How many times did people approach you telling you to look up?
Oh, dozens of times. Dozens of times.
Did you try to stop them? Because for me, I could just picture me. If I'm just walking with my dog and somebody pulls up and says, "Hey, you, in an hour and a half, look up at the sky and take photos." I'm going to say, wait, who are you? Did you try to do that?
You got other people picking me up and interrogating me.
What?
Yeah. So you got people saying stop, and you got people saying go.
At the same time?
At the same time. But I kept with the go. And it went on from there. So I got a collection of UFO pictures.
Were other people seeing these photos or craft at the time?
I'm sure other people were seeing these craft, and I'm sure they took pictures, but I don't know why they haven't registered them.
So you had people telling you go, take these pictures. Then you had other people pulling over. You're just walking along. You're a big guy. I mean, you can see on the, you're a big guy. So these guys are coming, and they just stop you on the street and pull you aside and take you someplace to interrogate you?
Yeah.
How did that go?
Like 3 people get inside the truck, get inside the van. And I'm like,
are they armed?
Yeah. Sometimes they're armed with SIGs, and, they're wearing tactical gear. So you're like, okay, I'm done today. I'm done. Well, this happened to me a couple dozen times. When I posted the TR3B in Orlando, I got picked up saying, "Hey, you can't be posting stuff like that."
So you do you feel like that there were 2 separate forces at work?
Yeah,
the entire time.
Totally.
And you're still experiencing that because you have people who've said green light, and there are other people who don't want you talking.
Yeah.
Which is consistent with everything that I've heard. So you're posting these photos, you're sending them to Dr. Sala, the Tampa Bay Times, Tampa Bay Tribune or whatever is posting them or revealing this information. They never named you, though, right? They just
No, JP.
JP. So from that point, you're still not in the military.
No.
You're
no
still
military
cleaning
yet.
pools. You're still doing music. You're still doing installing cameras. You're still doing all of these other things. When did that change? I'm not asking you for a specific date, but like what was the impetus then? How did all that shift from the go and stop guys coming and bothering you?
When I joined the military.
How did that happen?
So I went, they approached me, the good guys. Hey, you have to join. If you don't want the people to keep bothering you no more, you have to join.
So the guys that were telling you to take the photos, did you recognize them? Did they look the same? They're always
Sometimes
different.
yeah, it's always different, but it's like they knew me. It's so weird. It's like they look different, but they it's like I felt like I had a relationship with them. So sometimes they come with masks.
What kind of masks?
It's like a ski mask. People would be scared.
Like something you see with ice guys right now.
Yeah. Similar.
Yeah.
Similar.
Like a baka, what do you call it? Balaclava or whatever over the face.
Yeah.
Do they have helmets on?
No helmets.
Tactical gear?
Tactical gear.
With like a SIG on their hip. Were they also armed, the good guys?
Yeah, they were also armed.
Were they kind of saying, hey...
They look like similar to what sheriffs wear when they're undercover.
Okay, gotcha. Were you intimidated by the good guys?
Sometimes there's always one guy that was always serious and not talking, always just studying me and just looking up and down and always looking around and always looking over my shoulder and always and that had me always, So the other two guys were always talkative and like,
Yeah.
like if they were agents or something like that.
Did they? And they told you?
Don't know what agency though. Don't know.
You never knew if were they military? You don't know?
Their personnel is military, but I never knew like if they were strictly military, or if it was a different agency that was hired, to talk to me or to lower me into the military.
So then you joined the military.
I joined the military.
Was it a long thought process or no? Pretty instantaneous.
It was a long thought process because I go to church. And when I went to Brazil, I used to preach all over the place and all that. And I was really into church.
Yeah.
That's why these UFO things and...
You Catholic?
No, I'm Christian.
Christian.
These UFO things for the Christian community or for the religion community, sometimes they think is spirits.
Demons,
angels. And I kind of lean towards that way as well.
There are people in Congress who will say to other members or disclosure and whistleblowers, et cetera, like, why don't even deal with this?
No.
Don't even deal with this because it's demonic, right? And so that kind of puts up a wall, and maybe it is. And maybe there are, with the interdimensionality, and maybe there's things we don't understand, so we label it demons, right?
Yeah, in life, I always say this, we have a yin and a yang. There's always a good.
Yeah.
There's always a bad. I think there's good, if you want to call them ETs out there, or angels. We got good angels that can guide you to do the right things. And if you read the Bible, throughout history, angels have been guiding people for a long time.
Right.
And then you got demons. You have to be careful with demons.
Yeah.
And it's a lower vibration. And, if you study about the Monroe Institute, the Gateway Projects and all that, you can study how these people have the ability to connect with the interdimensional realm and the spiritual realm with outer body type of experience and all that. So the studies out there, the documents are out there that all these programs exist.
So it wasn't just jumping into the military like anybody else might and decide to join the military. It was you realizing that there are ETs or there's craft that you're taking photos of. Mm-hmm. There's guys that show up at your house or they show up and ask you to join the military. This is a different experience than most people go through. So you wrestled with it for a little while and then you ultimately...
I was trying to walk away every time, Clayton. I was trying to walk away, but out of nowhere I see these ships. So sometimes I go outside and pray. And these ships showed up. These ships show up. I'm like, what am I doing different? What type of praying or meditating or state of mind I get into that these things come down? So every conference that I do, these ships, they come down. And I have proof. I can show you the videos. We show it to redacted. And these ships, they show up. I did one in the UK. I did one in France. I did one in Charlotte, even here in Colorado. And we call down these ships. Sometimes they use people like us, you know,
right,
in the military, including implementing the dog whistle type of technology that have psionic abilities that can bring down these ships. And, you know, I didn't realize I had something like that, an ability like that. But when they started approaching me to join the military, I'm like, okay, they need something from me. You know, they need help.
They need a way to communicate or translate.
These beings, yeah,
right.
They need to communicate with these beings.
Was it your sense that when you were seeing these craft coming that they were not man, they were not humans, that these were, did you have any idea that whether these were, U.S. military vehicles or these were ETs?
They were ETs. They were extraterrestrials. Well, we could say that they are from parts of our oceans. That's as far as I can go, Clayton.
Parts of our oceans. And this has been a long conversation, or the idea about...
I hope I don't get in trouble because of that, but it's the first time I said that here. So...
But you're not the first who... You have Admiral Goudreau as well, talking about these underwater UFOs or USOs.
And I could tell you the locations for the first time, if you want.
Please.
The north and south part of Puerto Rico.
North and south of Puerto Rico, underwater.
Underwater. One of the deepest parts of the Atlantic Oceans is there.
And you've been there, right? Have you been to these spots?
I have been to these spots more towards the Bermuda part of the location where I have been.
No, I know I'm kind of jumping ahead because I wanted to get to that, but I just want to talk about it now. So you went to, can you describe what you saw? A massive underground facilities, underwater facilities, underwater bases?
Something like that, Clayton. Yeah. I saw these things that we call arcs.
Arcs.
Can
you describe to our audience what that it would be?
Massive ships, or huge, like 3 stadiums or even bigger types of ships. And it's ancient.
This is unbelievable to me. And we've heard about these arc ships. I've heard from different individuals that they've been here for what, millions of years?
Hundreds of thousands or maybe millions of years, yeah. And they're scattered around our Earth, these types of arcs, or Vimanas, or whatever other people want to call them.
And you've been there in a military capacity. So you were U.S. Army during this time. How were you transported there? How did those missions come to be? I guess you could. I need some coffee for this part.
Yeah,
let's take a sip of coffee because this is like
sure. It's gonna be a lot of people are gonna
got our holiday mugs out here.
Start asking questions.
Yeah.
After this video.
Well, that's why we wanted to have you on, because we want to.
Well, the books have been out there for a while, so people do know about these, but now
to put a face with it.
Yeah.
Because every time you've been at a conference or you've spoken, you've used, like, I think, voice modulation. You've worn masks.
Yeah, I wear the helmet.
You wear a helmet so people don't see your face. Yeah.
A funny looking helmet.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, take the mask off, take the helmet off. So I took it off for the first time in Charlotte for the first time.
Yeah.
I took it off, and it was a big deal for me because after that, I had like dozens of cars parking
at your house.
My house. I had people following me all over the place, checking me out. And, I got a family, so I do have to protect my family.
Well, now millions of people are going to see this, so stop parking at JP's house. Like, the cat is out of the bag. Like, knock it off now. Enough already.
Well, I am protected, you know.
Yeah.
My whole neighborhood is military.
Yeah.
So
don't mess with JP. All right, so I want to go back. I want to go. I want to go talk about the underwater piece of this, and then we got a lot to unpack here. But so, in a military capacity, how were you transported there? How did those missions come up? Like you just wake up one morning and JP, we're going to go see a massive UFO that's hundreds of thousands of years old. So get your rain gear. Like how does that unfold?
sometimes it's through the phone, or sometimes it's just straight up, hey, they want you in this area. You know, I'm working in South Korea. Hey, they need you in this area. So I leave. I meet up. They make you change into black tactical.
You were with other special forces at the time?
It's weird because it's civilian, special forces. You got Rangers. You got airborne troopers. You got Marine recons. You got, I don't know if they want to call themselves Delta Force. It's like a mixture of people with different talent. It's not just Army.
Yeah.
So most people say, oh, it's just one. No, it's all branches. And then you got international people from different countries involved.
Well, that's the real story here, too, is that we're all, you know, we talk about these boogeymen like, oh, we have to hate Russia, we have to hate China, but we're all working together. Right? We're all working together. Russians, we're all on the same page with this stuff, right? A lot of times.
Well, the thing is we have to, Clayton, because these are things that we don't understand.
Yeah.
It connects to when you get to the quantum entanglement part of it, quantum physics, it connects to the spiritual consciousness, and these beings, they show up and they disappear. We can have one in this room right now. We won't realize it. You know, it's spiritual, and the spiritual realm is real. I want people to understand that. And that's why I wanted to walk away so many times and not even talk about this. Even talking about it, I get not scared, but I get the shivers, because imagine you knowing that there's something listening and knowing that everything that you do in every moment.
It's almost like consciousness.
Yeah. It's like there's no way to hide. There's nowhere to go. They know every step, everything we say, everything that we do. It's like that type of.
And they're far more powerful than us, right?
Yes, that's the thing too. And you don't want to mess up. You don't want to mess up with them.
So you get called, there's a Delta Force, there's all of these guys, you're wearing black tactical gear. What happens next? What type of a ship, boat do you get? Where were you? Were you at Eglin Air Force Base at the time? Miguel, where were you when you get this call? And then you went to Puerto Rico?
Eglin. Well, in Puerto Rico, that's the locations of these things that we have.
Do you get on a ship, a battle cruiser or anything like that?
Sometimes it's Osprey, sometimes it's Black Hawk, sometimes it's C-130, you know.
And then just describe to me, the layperson, coming into this. Are you landing on something, being transported there?
We're landing on a massive ship that I don't feel comfortable talking on your show. I'm sorry about that, Clayton.
So it's like a classified...
But I know it says it in the books. It says it in the books of Dr. Sala. It's a massive Navy type of ship that we have.
That we don't even know about, really? I mean, we know because of people like yourself, but other...
We probably know about it because of movies, yeah. But we do have...
My brain goes to like the Avengers movie and like some of the helicarriers.
Yeah. We got technology that can manipulate space and time.
So you're landing on one of these manipulating of space and time craft.
Well,
whatever you can say.
It looks like a I don't know if you've seen the Star Wars, that donut shaped ship that they have in the Star Wars of series they have. I'm not familiar about. I'll text it to you.
I'm a big Star Wars fan, so we'll put it up here on the screen from Star Wars.
Well, they made a movie of him.
Andor, the Star Wars show Andor.
They have a similar ship that when I looked at it, I was like, oh crap. my heart sank, my jaw dropped. I'm like, oh crap.
We have that type of ship.
Yeah, we have that stuff. We have that.
So it's floating, flying?
It's floating.
Using anti-gravity technology?
No, not using anti-gravity. It's a regular ship.
But it's floating on the ocean?
It's floating on the oceans.
You land on it?
It has the capability, I think, with the hydraulics, it drinks, it takes in water and it turns to a sub, depending. And it lowers down just a little bit. It doesn't go all the way down. But
just enough to be hidden?
Yeah, just enough to be hidden.
And then you're in this ship as it lowers down, and then how do you find yourself near these giant arc ships?
So there's certain banks that are in higher altitude that is not as deep, that pressure-wise pressure will not harm you. So these ships are located in those locations that it's good enough for us to visit down. It has like a elevator with a different type of metal that it contracts and
like stuff that we're not used to.
Yeah, we're not used to seeing this technology.
So this is like alien technology?
I can say it's type of ET technology that we probably implemented in. No, but we're so smart, Clayton. We have stuff that is probably 400 or 500 years more advanced, and people don't know that.
Like the craft that anti-gravity technology, quantum technology, all of that, of course. Yeah.
I like to say we're the best country in the world. We have a lot of stuff that.
And that's why people, I think, when they think, oh, you're gonna mess with the United States, like the stuff that we have, that if push came to shove and we needed to use it, I mean, forget nuclear weapons. Those are like, I mean, that's like a joke at this point, right?
Yeah. Forget about. Now we have to worry about certain things.
Yeah. So take me down in this craft. And let me not interrupt you, but you can just take me. How do you get from the water to these things? Where are you? I want to be in your shoes and see what you're seeing down there.
So the first time we went down there, it was like a multinational kind of event. So I saw Chinese, I saw Russians, I saw other scientists, we even brought people from Mexico. These guys that look Indians. Mexicans, the Aztecs, like they look Aztec.
Like Mayan, yeah.
Looking. I'm like, where the heck these guys come from? How they got picked up.
Wow.
And we went all down because it has things that are connected to Mexico and to South America and even India. Things are even connected to India. These crafts, and it has different departments of rooms. So each arc, it's like if you have a scientist in the Pacific, there's an arc in the Pacific as well.
Where?
South from Hawaii, near California. That area over there. Over there, also, there's
massive arc.
And something massive that is alive. When I say mass, cities or something like that, people that live down there.
Humans?
It could be a mixture of humans and other things. Yeah.
And these
working together.
Yeah. These ETs or other
Nordics, they look like us. They could be walking among us.
But they're like tall, blonde hair.
Or they could be our height. We got certain programs that can change them to look like us.
And they're working with humans in these underground cities. We're talking these cities, like how big are they? Are we talking like the size of Philadelphia, New York?
No, smaller? It's smaller, but it's multiple layers, so it's huge.
Do they have vehicles down there? How do they get around?
Don't know, Clayton.
Do they have to pick their kids up at dance class in the afternoon?
Maybe, but
I just try to think of the infrastructure, the food, like restaurants, like how are they living down there?
I think it's more like a base type of city. So it's people that work there. I don't think there's kids down there, Clayton.
Yeah. Provisions are brought in.
Yeah.
They're operating and working. And did they come off regularly? Or like, are they down there for a few months, a few weeks, and then they're
basically the same thing that how they do in like the space station or similar like that. Yeah. And Eglin Air Force Base is the biggest Air Force base in the United States of America. And a lot of things are done from there.
So a lot of transporting is happening from Eglin to these different arcs.
And it's not just that base. It's a lot of base around the world.
Yeah.
That includes different governments. Reagan said one day, hey, if there's a massive force that comes, would every country unite and attack, or would we be still attacking each other?
Brought together.
He
knew.
Yeah.
He knew, and he also had, before he became president of the United States, Reagan had things that happened to him in California as governor of California. So he knew, he was fully aware. So you arrive at this base, you see these different departments in Puerto Rico, under the water near Puerto Rico. Were you just blown away about how massive this thing was?
I was blown away. The places where I went was more by Bermuda, off the shore of,
So we talk about like the Bermuda
Daytona.
When we talk about off of Daytona,
a little bit more off from Daytona.
Wow,
like that same location. I don't want to give the exact location, but somewhere around there.
And just to be clear, like these arcs aren't moving.
Well, they are moving now.
They are moving now.
Yeah, they're moving now. Now there's a massive arc in between Venezuela and Puerto Rico.
On purpose because of what's happening right now?
I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but I don't think that buildup is for a reason.
Oh my gosh. So we can, I know my conspiracy-minded brain goes, we're hearing that we have regime change operations happening in Venezuela, but really the reason we have 15,000 members of the military in that region has nothing to do with Maduro. It has other things to do.
Well, I don't want to speak above the commander-in-chief. Whatever he says goes.
Yeah.
Whatever he's saying is happening, and I believe is happening.
Yeah.
If that's happening with Venezuela. But there's other things that, because of national security, that's happening behind the scenes that a lot of people can't talk about.
The Orinoco belt of oil that sits off the coast of Venezuela. Okay. The Chinese are there.
Everybody's there.
The
ETs are there.
The ark is there. One of these arcs is nearby.
Yeah. Where does this oil come from?
Well, that's a great question. Where does this oil come from? Can you talk about that?
No, I can't. I'm sorry.
No, I understand. All right. So the size of these arcs, like what do they look like? You said
it's ancient looking, Clayton.
But the technology is more advanced than anything we have, but it's hundreds of thousands of years old.
Yeah.
But it's more advanced than what we have now.
Yeah. Well, throughout history, you've seen the show Ancient Aliens. We have cultures that have built the pyramids. We have cultures that built these temples that are magnificent in India. That they're carved out from the stone with precise precisions. You got Machu Picchu, those precise cuts rocks that are up there in Machu Picchu. You got Stonehenge. I'm sure things in Portugal, like ancient ruins in Portugal that people don't know how.
Yeah, Giza.
Yeah,
and the list goes on, of course. So describe to me these arcs. I just can take me through how long you were down there, what were you doing, what were you seeing?
It's like an off and on type of memory type of thing, Clayton.
Do they wipe your memory when you come back?
It's not that they wipe. It's certain techniques that they do that make you not remember.
You're not alone. I've heard this from other whistleblowers. I've heard this from other individuals who've been to these bases that their memories are scattered. But what do you remember?
I remember the smell. It smelled like when you go to a farm and you smell the hay.
Yeah.
When you first enter the ark, that's how it smells. but it's like an algae with vanilla mixed into it, and it's like a pleasant smell. So you feel like the ship is alive, that this ark is alive.
Wow.
You feel like a heartbeat, like a presence of. It's the most beautiful feeling that you ever feel.
Is it alive?
I think it's alive. I think all these ships that we encounter, the militaries around the world, not just the government of the United States, these ships are consciousness. They have consciousness. It's like a type of old school. I think this is so much, Clayton. Like if you get to the nitty gritty, like how we're getting this AI right now and where we're getting the ideas of the cell phone, where we got the idea of, so I think these technologies have a type of ancient AI.
Yeah.
That we piggyback off of it.
Well, we see major advancements in technology that seemingly come out of nowhere, like right after the Roswell crash. Suddenly we have incredible technologies.
Velcro.
Yeah. We have all these things that we've never seen before within a short amount of time. Computer, transformers, things like that. After the sightings like this. So, okay, so you're down there. How long are you down there? Do you remember?
I don't remember the time. It fizzles in and out.
Do you remember what your mission was while you were there?
I was there to activate certain things.
Because you have the technology background.
Well, the ability of bringing these ships down.
Oh, to activate, to communicate with them.
Yeah, to communicate with whatever being is in charge of these. But now the Nordics are in charge of it. The ETs, yeah, the Nordic ETs are in charge of it. And I know people might hear this and they might think, certain things.
But by the way, this is now part of congressional testimony.
Yeah.
Nordics, multiple races, like this is now on the congressional record from other individuals, from the military, whistleblowers. So you're not some crazy guy just saying this. Like this is, you've seen them.
Yeah.
This is, other people have seen them. Other people have reported this. Not to give you cover for it, but all I'm saying is this is now part of the congressional record.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
And the reason I'm here now is because of that whistleblower protection. I'm allowed to say certain things. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But I got the green light to come here and talk about this, so I feel peace.
So now there are multiple arcs. We talked about the one in the Pacific near Hawaii, maybe off the coast of California, near Puerto Rico, near Bermuda. Now one near Venezuela. They're moving
south of India as well. There's a location there. It's like scattered around our oceans.
What about in the Arctic Circle?
We got something there, and we also got something in Antarctica. Antarctica is insane. The stuff we got. I know you had Brad Alston. I was with him the other day.
Okay.
In New York, and we were talking, and it's a lot of things that we have in Antarctica.
Have you been there?
I have not quite been there.
Not quite been there.
Yeah.
That's like when my wife asks, "Did you take out the trash?" I haven't quite taken out the trash.
You took it out before, but
right, I didn't take it out this time. So, what can you talk about with Antarctica that you know for sure?
There's certain locations there that involve high technology, that radio frequency that can connect to space.
Now, we've heard from Eric Hecker, who's a whistleblower as well. By the way, when he came forward and tried to speak to members of Congress, they essentially tried to ruin his life. But he worked at what he called the Ice Cube neutrino detector at the South Pole Station. I would encourage our audience to go back and watch that full interview with Eric. He's been on a couple times, but he's laid out the technology there. He worked in that facility.
Oh, wow.
And saw...
Wait, is that the guy that wears a jacket that has Antarctica on it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah, so he worked
He's
there.
the real deal.
Yeah, he worked at that station. But in talking about the communications technology that exists there, he talked about it as like a giant air traffic control center for off-world vehicles.
Yeah.
Interstellar vehicles. Is he correct?
Yeah. I think he's correct. It's not that also some plasmoid type of creatures that we're communicating with. that live within our oceans. I don't know if I could say that, but
yeah, I think the plasmoids, that's another big piece of this. And so whether it's, does our government have the ability to manipulate and work with these plasmoids for teleportation? You know, we see flight MH370, plasmoids zipping around flight MH370 and these plasmoids, because we talk about like nuclear weapons, right? Again, I talk about it's like this.
I can't talk about that, Clayton. Sorry.
Okay.
That's
classified.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's out there, you know, people talk about it, but just me. I know certain things about certain things that has been
reported,
like the Boogosphere, you know, everybody's talking about that. It's 14,000 years old and people are still investigating it.
Yeah.
You know.
Is it a real, the Boogosphere? Is it real? Or is it a hoax?
I can't talk about it. But there's different sizes. I can say that.
Okay.
And we found a way to connect with them and probably control them. Maybe that's what I could say.
Okay. Can you talk about some of the technologies that we've never seen before? Is there any the technologies that you know the U.S. military, the U.S. government is now using, anti-gravity propulsion technology? So how much of a relationship do we have in the United States government, the Chinese government, the Russian government, et cetera, with these Nordics, with these ancient technologies that we are now using? So I guess my question is, when people look up in the night sky and they're like, I saw a UFO, they're really seeing a UFO, or are they seeing all of this advanced technology that we've borrowed from them, mostly flying in the skies?
It's a mixture. It's a mixture of collaboration. Like, you know about my experience in Alabama?
I don't.
Where I went inside a cavern and I saw...
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Nordics training different military pilots from around the world that I think are involved in the Artemis Accord.
So the Artemis Accords, you saw Nordic aliens training other members of the U.S. military and other members of the military from, what, Russia, China, other places?
No, I didn't see Russia and China.
Okay, who did you see?
I saw other nations that are involved with the Artemis Accord.
Okay, sorry. And they were training in what capacity? Aircraft?
They look like flying saucers, Clayton.
When we talk about Alabama, what are we talking about? Are we talking about in what part of Alabama?
I never gave the location, but I think Dr. Salah, he probably knows the location.
Does it have anything to do with the moving of Space Force to that location?
That's something you have to ask the President of the United States.
Okay. Well, we know that there's a massive...
I know that the United States have the best capability in the world. That's what I know. And I don't want to, you know. Well, because of the connection that we have, I think we have the best.
Because of the connections we have with the Nordics and others. Yeah.
And I'm sure other governments have their connections as well. And we probably don't know what they have. So we do have to be careful.
How many races of aliens, ETs, have you seen?
I've seen Nordics. I've seen these people that look like ants. Well, they call them ant people. They got big eyes. Like, I tell people, you can confuse these with gray aliens.
Okay.
Like, if you see the gray aliens, they have big eyes. Well, these guys that I see, they live under the ground, and they have like it's not antenna, it's like a hair looking, it's like a dread that comes out their head. And throughout history, you know, I don't know if you heard the Hopi
Indian?
The Hopi Indian stories about them connecting with the inner earth and the
inner earth,
the ant people and all that, and then they taught them. So we connected with these.
So the Hopi Indian working with these ant people. So have you seen grays?
I've seen grays from a distance. That was a mission that I went to that was really weird as well. We went to this castle-looking place, and this other people were giving us a lot of gold, plates of gold, and we were transferring these gold to different containers. And this was somewhere in the United States, but all I saw was like snow, but I don't know what location it was. I remember falling asleep on the craft that was on, and I woke up and we were in this location and we were just doing security. And because of my past experiences and past missions, they took me to this. And then from a distance, I saw one gray alien. Well, it looked like a gray. It had the big head. It had the black, small, like really small, big head. I don't know if it was a costume or whatever the heck it was. But it was talking to two like recon Marines far in the distance. And he was just pointing different ways.
Were they communicating with language or telepathy?
I don't know how they were communicating. I was too far away. Yeah. I don't know if it was a costume, Clayton, or something. Hopefully it was a costume, but it looked like a gray alien to me. It was short, big head, big eyes, and I think they were arguing or something like that. That's what it looked like. I don't think we have a connection with the Greys. I think they want a connection with us.
So when you look at these arcs under the water, I just wanted to go back to that a little bit. Are they treated as bases, right? Are they sort of self-contained bases? Would you describe them that way?
There's cities that are self-contained bases, but the arc, they can be movable. They have the capability of moving out the water and moving into the water and moving really extremely fast.
And so are there any eyewitness reports of them coming out of the water as massive as they are? I mean, it would be...
I know people talk about things the size of football fields moving 200 miles per hour under the oceans. I know there's people talking about that.
Well, and it's not just people, it's admirals.
Yeah.
These are credible members of the U.S. military talking about that. Admirals mentioning the size of football field craft moving underneath the ocean, and other craft moving at speeds that we don't have, in our current 2025, 2026 life, we would not know any speeds that these craft could move.
Yeah, they go really fast underwater, Clayton. These UFOs, I think they have the capability of breaking matter in a certain way and using some like Tesla technology. I don't know what the heck they use, Well,
yeah, let's talk more about the technology and the propulsion technology. Have you ever witnessed, you've seen them in motion.
Yeah, I've seen them in motion. You feel them. My first experience in Brazil, this is when I was a civilian, Clayton.
And this is what started it all.
This was started it all.
Okay.
I went to Brazil, right? My wife invited me. I was preaching in all the churches. I was preaching in cathedrals in churches in Brazil, Christian.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know what UFO was or ET was.
Yeah.
They always say demons because the farmers, they interact with these beings and they always say it's something spiritual. But when I went there, I went to this farm, no light pollution, beautiful place. We went to eat churrasco in Brazil. When you invite me out to eat, I'll go anywhere.
Yeah.
So the day prior, I was feeding the cows. They were showing me how they feed the cows. All this was because of the lifting up the bags of salt was like bloody and all that. I was like, I was sore. I woke up at 3:00 in the morning with a humming noise. I walked out and I saw something that was glowing like a bluish white color in the distance. So I start walking towards it. I didn't have no shoes on. When I start walking towards it, it was probably like a 6-minute walk. And it kept getting bigger. I'm like, what the heck is this? I'm talking to myself. I'm like, what is this? This is crazy. So when I get close to it, I touch it. And I feel the hairs of my body that go up. And I feel like a metallic taste in my mouth. Like if I had pennies. I know you were small once. Put pennies in your mouth.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what you feel, or like blood or something like that.
Right.
I close my eyes. I open my eyes. I'm back in the farm. You can see my footsteps. Over there, the dirt is red. You can see my footsteps back. I'm like, what the heck happened to me? So I told my wife the next day, and they're like, something spiritual. Don't worry about it. I'm like, what the heck is happening to me? You know, I'm like, I want to get out of Brazil. And this happens really close to Cardos Novas. Cardos Novas is a national park that not too long ago, Google, there's an ark there, and I can show you the location of this ark. Google recently posted the Ark of Brazil.
There's an ark, a giant alien
the
craft.
The name that they just posted, you can look it up. It's called the Ark of Brazil. It is a similar shape to Oleszki Sands in Ukraine. The size of Oleszki Sands. That there's probably an ark there as well. Well, I know.
Yeah.
There's probably an ark there.
Yeah. Underground.
Thousands of feet underground. Similar to what they're finding under the pyramids of Giza. All these things that they're finding under the pyramids, they're confirming with other companies that they found these things under Giza. But these arks, they're under there as well. And then you got scattered, like in South Korea, China, Russia, Japan, scattered. You got these small ships that the Indians, they used to call Vimanas, that they look like massive spacecrafts. But sometimes there's temples on top of them, or the governments, they know about it. They don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it could change. This is the thing. This can change religion if we talk about what's happening.
Right.
It could change a lot about Catholics, Christians.
I know the Catholic Church has tried to come out and try to get ahead of this.
Muslims,
a few years ago.
Yeah.
They've tried to start talking about this because I think it could undermine a lot of these religions, right? And so they're trying to get out in front of it now and trying to admit, I mean, what does the Vatican have in their archives? You know,
we got an American
Pope
now, so
maybe we'll get some answers about what's hidden in the Vatican.
We could probably go to Rome and interview him if you want.
I would like to. Yes, I would like to. I'd like to. That would
Everything
be my
happens
first
for
question.
a reason, Clayton. That's what I know. Everything happens for a reason.
The reason the Pope is there now is an American. It's not just by chance.
Disclosure's around the corner. Look at Steven Spielberg. He's about to, June? He's going to drop a new film saying that.
Yeah.
About disclosure. So I think 2026 is the year, Clayton.
I sure hope so. I hear there's so many people that we say this and then we take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You know, we have.
I said before, there's always 2 fashions.
Yeah.
One, don't want it to happen because they want to be safe.
Yeah.
And the other one, they just want it to happen because we need to know.
Yeah. Well, you have somebody like I mentioned, like Eric Hecker, who came forward, actually connected with Congressman Nancy Mace's office, and she said, I want to speak to whistleblowers. I want to speak to individuals. I thought it'd be protected. So he reaches out, and then within days of reaching out to her office, he loses his job.
Yeah.
You know, that's how this stuff happens. So you've got these like dark forces. You have people that, say they want to protect whistleblowers. They say they want to help and move towards disclosure, but then they're secretly shaking another hand over here, whether it's. So maybe you can talk about some of the dark forces, the people that don't want disclosure. Is it the military-industrial complex that doesn't want it because they stand to make so much money?
A lot of people think it's the military. I don't think it's the military.
I don't mean military. I mean like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, the military-industrial complex.
I don't think it's them either.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's probably connected, but I think there's how can I say, contracts that can't be broken. That a long time ago was put in place. And because of these contracts, a lot of people can break contracts. You know how contracts work.
Right.
If you break it, something else happens. But the military, I don't think they're the bad guys. For me.
Yeah.
Some people might say, yes, the military treated me bad. The military did this. If you're signed to be part of the military, you are told what to do. That's the mentality I came in the military.
Well, we've seen from other military whistleblowers who've said the same thing as you, U.S. Marines and so forth, who, when they were on certain off the books missions, they came across other human individuals who were the bad guys and who were using some of these craft for nefarious purposes. Some of this technology. The U.S. military's guys were the white hats. These other individuals were not.
I encountered certain situations, gunpoint.
At gunpoint.
They could throw me off. They say, don't talk about this. Certain things I still don't talk about because of those situations.
So you as a U.S. military came head to head with these other
people.
These other people.
Don't talk about it.
And this were in the field? Like this was...
In the field.
In the field.
But I don't think they're connected to the military. I think it's something else. It's not the military. It can't be the military. It can't be the people I serve with. It doesn't cross my mind because when you go into the military, you come in with a beautiful heart to serve and all that. If it is the military, I don't know what to say. But I don't think for me. I think it's a different part.
Yeah.
It's connected in some ways.
Right. Dark forces, though. I U.S. Marines who've witnessed these UFO craft being used.
And they're evil. They could be evil. So evil.
Yeah.
They'll kick you in the face.
Well,
I got kicked in the face.
You got kicked in the face.
I got kicked in the face.
For what? Just for looking?
Just for looking.
Where? And can you say maybe where this was or what you were looking at?
No. Sorry.
No, I understand. You've got to protect. I don't want. I don't want anything to. Well, I can just tell this other story, not your story, but a U.S. Marine. We've covered it on the show before. I think it was in Indonesia after the tsunami. Mm-hmm. And often, as our audience knows, after major natural disasters, there are people that come in for the selling of human beings, trafficking of human bodies, all of that. Are there other reasons why they come in?
There's other reasons. Certain things are unveiled because of the tsunami, are brought up.
Unearthed,
yeah.
And then need to be covered back up again?
Maybe.
Or taken? So these individuals...
I don't know nothing about the human.
Yeah. Well, these human beings face to face with a Marine Corps unit and threatened to kill them all for what they were seeing happening. And it was only by the grace of God that they weren't killed.
No.
But they were transporting human bodies in some sort of crates and then using advanced propulsion technologies to fly off. And these U.S. Marines were threatened at gunpoint and nearly killed.
Wow.
So, again, we've covered that on the show, but I just wanted to say that's not your story, that's somebody else's story, but it sounds similar to what
they can be aggressive. The bad guys can be aggressive. They're more cocky. They're more, we don't give a F who you are.
Because they don't follow any laws at all.
Like, we don't.
Yeah.
I think they're like, I don't know. I don't think they have a heart by the way they act.
Yeah.
It's just, I think, you know what it is? They've seen so many things. That's what I think it is.